So here we are with Jeanne Anne Norton, and it's great to have her on board with us today. We're going to be discussing um, her brief, um, her history. I'm sorry, and uh, get to find out a little bit about Jeanne Anne. A lot of people know her from the uh, care threads and the former life force threads, and she's has quite an interesting history, and it's good to have you here, Jeanne Anne.
Very much. Thank you. A little bit about me. I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. Well, that's not really true. I always thought I'd be a lawyer. So after a career in marketing, public relations, and actually early on, Liz, I worked on the Army ROTC account at a large ad agency, and I was at Fort Bragg, and I've been to many of the installations around the country working with the colonels and lecturing and shooting news clips to air on the news around the country. Then I went to law school when I was 40. And after that, I practiced law in Manhattan. I was a healthcare attorney and did commercial litigation and some family law. And then when I retired from the practice because I was coming up to Albany, one of my former clients who was a physician and a scientist who had some inventions asked me if I would work with him. And I did. And I formed a pharmaceutical company and we had patents issued. Along the way, a few years ago, my husband, who is a competitive cyclist, an athlete, asked me if I would come up with an anti-chafing cream, or they call in cycling a chamois cream, because he just couldn't find something that prevented saddle sores and the rashes and, destroying those bib shorts, which are rather expensive. So I thought about it and did some research and came up with a cream. And then I tweaked it some more and he liked it. And then I tweaked it again and he really loved it. And he was sharing it with his friends who are also cyclists on teams. And I said, I better come up with a name. So I came up with the name Bummalicious, which is trademarked. And he was sharing it with a lot of the elite cyclists. And one of the cyclists he shared it with, who at the time was a national track champion and now international track champion and on the America's Cup team, he said, could you send me one for my girlfriend? She's a cyclist too. Well, I looked her up and she was actually on the USA track cycling team for the Olympics. She didn't go to the Olympics that year, but I sent it to her. And she loved it. And she called me and she said, do you have anything for wounds? I have open wounds. And I said, well, I do, but it's patented and I can't send you what I have that hasn't gone through clinical trials. I said, let me see about making something for you, which I did. And within 2 weeks after I gave her the protocol to follow, she called me in tears and said that it was the first time that she was healed. And so I had a second product. And then my husband spent 5 hours on the trainer. I call it tour de basement. And the balls of his feet were burning. And he said, Jeanne Anne, do you have anything? And I felt like, I said, oh, Kenny, do you feel like you just, walked 5 miles down Fifth Avenue in 5-inch Charles Jourdain heels? And he says, I do. So I then made a peppermint massage cream, which we now use for muscles too. And as you know, peppermint bypasses the blood-brain barrier, that essential oil, and it also has a very high frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And you all are into frequencies, so you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And little by little,
Sure.
I made in honor of Kim, I made a hand sanitizer that's organic, and I call it Shields Up. And then I made the sunscreen, and little by little, I'm just adding more products. And hopefully in the next 2 years, there'll be a full skincare line for everybody, depending on the kind of skin they have. I do have body butters. I have a lavender and I'm working on a rose one because, sometimes you need moisturizing, sometimes it's anti-aging. Everybody's skin is different and everybody's needs are different.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
all
you're
about-
so
I have a quick question, actually. You said wounds. I used to do nursing, and I was mainly in theatre, which I think in America you call the OR. So I spent a lot of time in theatre, and we use hippie scrub on our hands every 5 minutes, and I ripped all the skin at the top of my hands. They were just constantly bleeding, like really bad dermatitis. And it's never, ever healed itself, even if I just wash my hands with the most sensitive soap. Can that cream go on a cracked open dermatitis, or
Mm.
can it actually go on
Yes.
open wounds, or do you have to wait for it to heal?
No, you know, I'll tell you something, Anna. When I'm working in the lab, I always have to try and remember to put a rubber thumb on my finger because I'm always opening essential oils, and you know you shouldn't really not use
Yeah.
them. And I have the most sensitive skin. You shouldn't use them like raw, you know, whole, because they're so powerful.
Mhm.
And if my thumb cracks, I'll put healing balm on it.
Oh, that's amazing.
And my husband's barber has not psoriasis, I guess eczema. Oh, and Anna, his head and his skin, oh, dry and peeling and red.
Oh,
And
that's really painful.
so Kenny brought him a jar of healing balm and said, you know, Joe, why don't you try this? And he did, and he stopped using all the steroids that the doctor gave him. The dermatologist didn't believe him, but we didn't care. He still uses the healing balm, and he's all healed.
Well, if you're not using steroids, then who's going to pay the pharma companies? Of course, they want you to take the steroids.
That's right.
Exactly.
I might have to get some for my. But I have to say, people can't see her, but she said, "I'm sorry. Can I say your age?"
I'm 73.
Oh, so she's 73, but I'm 40, and she looks better than me.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
Her
got great
skin is
skin, right?
very, very great skin.
I
That's a
just want to tell
marketing
everybody,
campaign in itself.
I
Yeah,
just
but you know what, guys? I even make it. I mean, I was telling Kelly, I make my own salad dressings. I look at everything. I don't, even our bread is fresh. And if it's not used in 3 days, it's thrown away. And we cut it ourselves. My husband has an autoimmune disease called vasculitis, or HUVS. He can only wear cotton, linen, silk, hemp clothing. He
Mhm.
can't, he's just sent, no preservatives ever come into this house. I mean, I even buy organic bananas, for heaven's sakes.
Mhm.
And our meats and our chicken and all of that comes from local farms up here.
Well, hopefully our food's going to change soon. Whew.
And there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with potato chips if they're made the right way, right? You don't need Doritos. You don't need the stuff with, you know, and
No,
we
it's the GMOs and the bad oils for sure.
right. And explaining to young moms who were never parented and they're now parents that Cheetos is not made with cheese.
Oh God.
Not
Yeah.
food, it's just entertainment. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it doesn't do anything for you, you
And by
know?
now they're probably made with cricket flour too. Who knows?
Well,
You know.
I just read that there was a company in the United Kingdom that just went out of business because they weren't people weren't buying their cricket products, food
Mhm.
products. And it had been a company that I understand had been supported by the World Economic Forum. So there's
Shocking.
something to be said for people understanding about what's best and not best for their bodies and their families.
You know, I know
Do,
some
do,
people, oh, sorry, John. I have some friends who are my age. I'm 61, 60s, 50s, late 50s, and I'm starting to seriously see the difference in my friends' health. Those people who've just eaten entertainment for food their whole life versus those who've tried to take the care to eat organic, or I call it clean eating for whatever it means to us, whether we are carnivores or vegans or whatever we are, to try to eat clean. And it's not just genetic. Like I have friends who are falling apart. I just have a girlfriend I just heard this morning is in the hospital for sepsis. That woman has not eaten a healthy thing in her entire life. I really feel for her. But what your looks, Jeanne Anne, and what your products are really exemplifying this personal care to for us to care for ourselves. I mean, I'm a God person. I'm a source person. I feel like God gave us these temples to walk around in, not to maybe worship, but to take care of. I get to walk around in this. So I agree with you, and I agree with all said here.
You know something, I have to tell you, when I first started the business, which I'll tell you the story just to digress for a moment. A company is called La Domestique LLC. And in France, the domestique is the team rider who helps the leader win the race, whether it's the Tour de France or the Giro d'Italia or any other ride. You know, they'll help draft. They'll try and keep other riders away. That's the role of the La Domestique. So I said to Kenny, I said, our role with these products that we're going to be creating, and the first one was Bummalicious, is to help the rider. It's to help, prevent, heal, and repair, and return the dermis to the condition of perfection.
Mhm.
You see, what I learned from my partner who passed away with the pharmaceutical company is he was of the opinion that all disease is a result of a lack of energy in the cells. So if you can infuse energy into the cells, you can accomplish a few things. One, you can repair the cells that have died quickly through apoptosis. Okay. You can heal, and you can generate new cells, whether it's the wound spray that I have that, grows skin actually. Our dog had been was attacked by a pit bull, and the veterinarian said to me, Meriwether will have a zigzag scar, and her hair won't grow back. Well, after the bandage came off, every other day and every day and then twice a day, I sprayed her. She has no scar, and her hair grew back. And after I had spinal surgery, we sprayed my back. There is no scar.
How old is Meriwether?
13 and a half.
Okay, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's good.
right. But you see, so that's why I say everything is about the science. It's a cellular structure. All the ingredients are designed to accomplish one thing. With the Bummalicious, it's to prevent damage. It's to prevent saddle sores. With the Healing Balm, I even have hemp oil in there, emu oil in there, helichrysum in there. Those are designed to speed up the healing process and to go deep into the body. Frankincense, as you know, is another essential oil that'll bypass the blood-brain barrier. And I was telling Kelly that when I first started the company, I had plastic jars, double-walled jars to protect the creams. But it took me a long time, but I finally found a company about 3 months ago that makes hemp biodegradable jars, and that's what you see on our website. And next year, one of my friends, Wayne Fisher, some of you may know him. He will be growing hemp, and he will be creating tubes for the products.
Oh.
Right.
That's
And
great.
so it was a bow to everything I've learned about hemp and the power of that particular plant that I switched to the hemp biodegradable jars. And I have
I
hemp,
love your packaging.
and
It's
I have
great.
hemp, and I have hemp oil in the Healing Balm. I have lanolin in the Bummalicious.
What kind of things do you want to what other things are you thinking of making? And also, sorry, I have 2 questions. Do you use back flower? What is it called? Back flower essence. Bark flower essence.
No.
Bark.
Well,
Bark.
okay. When you talk about essences, I think of a distillate. I think of a water flower. So, for example, when essential oils are steam distilled, the water that evaporates from that is called water flower. Now, I don't use them in any of the products that you see on my website. I do use them in my skincare products that I'm developing now. I have rose distillate in my eye cream along with rosehip oil. I have it in my daily moisturizer. I have lavender and rose.
Okay, I didn't know there was a difference.
Yeah, I mean, every rose essential oil, lavender, helichrysum, pine, every one of the essential oils has a distillate or water flower, they call it.
You learn something new.
And once they're open, they go in the fridge.
Mm,
I have, I use, I mean, I use so many different oils. Pomegranate seed oil, rose hip oil, sunflower oil. Do you know, and I haven't mentioned this, but I infuse calendula and St. John's wort in olive oil for a month just to get that infused oil to add to the helichrysum, to add to the healing balm.
Oh, that
nice.
must be good.
Jeanne Anne, I've got a question. Have you ever heard any of your clients ever using DMSO as a transdermal to add to the healing balm's effect on the skin?
No, I have DMSO here. I have A and the B, which I can, but I have not added it. I do not know whether they would be sophisticated enough to understand what DMSO is.
Right, because I have DMSO, I use it. I might take your product, mix it with the DMSO and try it sometime, but yeah, that's what a client would probably have to do. But yeah, I was just curious because I play with DMSO a lot. Thank you.
I mean, I am looking at when the time comes, when it's possible, taking one of the compounds that I have in one of the inventions, one of the patents, and adding that to a either making a tablet out of it that an athlete can put in water, or anybody who's hiking can put in water, or I will put it in in water with like a natural flavoring, like a raspberry made from raspberries, that sort of thing. I would have to have it go into the lab and have it freeze dried to see if it's possible. I don't want to lose the efficacy. But what it does is I have liquid forms, and I have taken which has been diluted down. I have taken small amounts of it, like an eighth of a teaspoon, and put it in a 16-ounce water bottle. And my husband will do a century ride, which is 100 miles, and he's ready to keep going. Everybody behind him is sucking wind, because these compounds, which are not banned by cycling or any of the sports organizations or governing bodies, infuses energy into the cells as it's tearing the cells down during
Yeah,
athletic endurance. Mhm.
that's a
Do you
great
think
idea.
that is a good one, and for riders, as in horse riders as well? Do you think that you would ever do any? You know how you can get now these pain relief creams, and they put medicine in them like ibuprofen, and you rub them on, and then they anything. Because I always used to use them, but now I don't want to because it's just a lot of medicine. If you had creams and then you put stuff that would give any pain relief, I'm not so knowledgeable on essential oils and things, so I don't know which ones work. But is that a thing?
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that. I was involved with the Empire State Ride for the past week. And one of the volunteers was talking to me about the terrible pain she had with osteoarthritis
Hmm.
in her knees and hips. And I said, do me a favor, tomorrow morning, I said, just see if you can go to, if there are local shops around here. We were in Weedsport, New York. And see if there's something between here and Spencerport where you can get frankincense essential oil, and you can get a nice light carrier oil, such as frankincense, such as fractionated coconut oil. Well, she did. And she immediately did the protocol. I said, just take 2 drops with a few drops of essential oil in with the carrier oil, rub it into your knee and your hips. Do you know that her pain went away immediately?
You need to make that.
Again,
Good for me.
Anna, frankincense essential oil bypasses the blood-brain barrier. That will go deep into your bones. The same thing with peppermint. My peppermint muscle and massage cream you can put on before athletic endurance or afterwards. I have a fractured spine. So for example, I don't take, I may take a super biocurcumin with like really powerful turmeric from a company called Life Extension, but I'll also take my muscle cream and I'll just rub it in my back, or I'll take frankincense and I'll and a fractionated coconut oil and rub it in my back, and the pain's gone.
Mhm.
So just frankincense and a little carrier oil.
Yeah, or say you have a headache. Why would you take any medication when you can just take a little peppermint oil and rub it in your forehead
Mhm.
and rub it behind your ears, put it in your palm of your hands and close your eyes and breathe deeply. It'll also open your sinuses, but breathe deeply, and you want to close your eyes because peppermint oil is very powerful.
I
Yeah.
do peppermint with the lavender, but yeah, they work great.
Kelly was
Okay.
telling me that Lang Lang is one of his favorite oils. He combines it with lavender,
Vetiver,
with vetiver, which is very
right.
good concentration.
Vetiver.
Vetiver,
Vetiver.
Mhm.
vetiver.
Yeah. So you've got the real floral, and then you've got the very rooty, and it's really activating for me, and it's grounding, but
It's
yet it's also,
grounding.
yeah, it's
It's
very
very
grounding.
grounding.
Hmm.
I added, when I first created the Bummalicious, people said to me, why are you using Lang
Sorry.
Lang? It's such an expensive essential oil. I said, because, and the lavender is calming. I said, because what happens with Lang Lang is if you put it into the skin and it wafts into your sinuses and your breathing, and it gets into your muscles, it's very calming. So while the cyclist is out there hustle, 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 running, climbing up the hill, it's their essence is staying calm.
Hmm.
And that's why I put Lang Lang in there along with the lavender. Lemon's in there, I mentioned, because of its antibacterial,
Yep.
and
I think that's the
frankincense.
only one I knew.
Yeah, yeah. So
I feel like I've been at an appointment, so thanks for that.
you're welcome.
What's it like getting things shipped overseas for you right now? Do you have any customers, customer base?
I do, and what happens is somebody has to tell me what they're interested in, because I'm still working. I'm not, there are certain things that I'm good at and things I'm not. I'm a work in progress. I'm trying to figure out, the website and all this stuff. So if somebody says to me, I live in Romania and I would like this and this, what is the cost of shipping? And I will tell them what the cost is, and then I will create an invoice and send it to them, and they can pay it.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah.
I send stuff to England all the time because I have,
Your
my
son is there.
yeah, Matt's there with his wife and the kids. So yeah.
Mm.
And
Nice.
Were you going to say Holloway?
I beg your pardon?
Were you going to say he's in Holloway?
No, he's not in Holloway. He's in
So,
go ahead. I'm looking
oh
it
no,
up.
no, go ahead. No, you go ahead because I'm reading something. I'm sorry.
He's in Honor Oak.
Okay.
Like somebody says, oh, I live in New York. Well, if you're in Manhattan, or you're in Staten Island, or you're in Queens or the Bronx or Brooklyn, they're also New York City. So London, he's considered London, although you have to hop on the train to go there, which is like 20 minutes, I think. I mean, we've been there a couple of times.
Mm.
Jeanne Anne?
Well,
Oh,
Yes.
sorry, Anna. Can you share where you source your essential oils? And I know Kim's aren't available yet. I know there's a couple
I was
big,
about to say that, Liz.
yeah, we're psychic. I know.
Uh,
I source my essential oils from a company called J. Edwards. They're out of Massachusetts, and they don't sell little tiny bottles. I buy, I buy large bottles of oils, and everything is measured in grams. I buy my butters from them. I buy my oils from them. I mean, when I buy oil, I say, my olive oil or my hemp oil, they're in gallon jugs. I mean, my butters are in, gallon jars, huge things. So if you were to purchase from J. Edwards, you would open up a wholesale account and you would buy very large bottles of essential oils. I think the smallest they have is 16 ounces.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know Kim's doing a,
And I do,
she's just making straight.
and Liz, I do know that doTERRA is one of their customers.
Well, yeah, okay, because
And
doTERRA, I'm still using up all my Young Living that I bought 10 years ago, but.
Mm.
Mhm.
and everything is organic.
Yeah, I was looking at the soaps. I presume that the oils are in them too, and as well as honey and
Yeah, the goat's milk and honey, the goat's milk is organic. The argan oil is organic, and the raw unfiltered honey is in there. I have to do new photographs for the rose and the lavender because I have the lavender and the rose petals here, but I'm not going to put them in the soaps anymore. I'll package them loosely in there. But I use rose hip oil and rose essential oil in the rose.
oh,
The
nice.
lavender, I use lavender essential oil and sandalwood essential oil in the sandalwood soap.
Oh, sounds beautiful.
Well, Kelly, when you open up your center, we're going to have to stock Jeanne Anne's products for sure.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, because we'll have a marketplace within yeah, we're working on a restoration project, northern Arizona, so it will be quite a wonderful place when, you know, getting all the details together right now. But yeah, speaking of restoration projects, because this is something that you've been working on for several years, right? And did you have any other restoration projects that you were working on previous to this? Or because I know you've been with Kim for many years now, and
Did you say from Life Force back then?
yeah, but what before Life Force actually, right?
Yeah, Create Change and Guardian of Camelot. Kim called Stefan in December of 2017. So we knew in January of 2018 the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And in the early days, Kim really, I mean, before that, she was working with governments to try and help with large projects that they were planning. And she thought that if she could, she knows, I mean, like we know so much more today than what was known then, but she thought if individual trusts could be created, you get your EIN number from the Internal Revenue Service, and you opened a trust account at a bank, she would be able to fund that for large projects. I mean, I had projects that were, I mean, huge, because my mantra, and I used to say this to Stefan all the time, and he would repeat it: think big, start small. I mean, everything has to be manageable. Think big, start
Mm-hmm.
small. And Gary White was the one that came up with the concept of needs assessment. Now, Anna, you understand this because when you have a patient, unless you do a needs assessment, you are not going to know how you're going to treat that patient if you don't have a definitive
No, for
idea
sure.
what the issue is. So Gary is a nurse, a registered nurse, and yeah, ICU. And so he said, you have to do a needs assessment to figure out how to proceed. And that's where that terminology came from. But back in the 2018, it was massive projects, massive projects. I mean, I still have a bunch of projects. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
one that Ken and I wanted to do was to retrofit an ocean-going commercial ship where the part of it, you know, would come down and we could collect plastics
Mm.
I've seen those boats. They're great.
and then take
Mhm.
that plastic and manufacture right on board very heavy solid bricks and drop the like Legos, but locking and drop
Mm-hmm.
them off at ports so that individuals who needed to build could build homes with that and it was insulated.
Oh, great idea.
I mean,
You can
another
still
one,
go ahead with these kind of projects, right?
I
Sure.
beg your pardon?
You can still go ahead with these kind of projects, right? When they're
Absolutely. Another one is we all see children who are getting emails coming in, children who have maybe don't have the home life that they should have in terms of nutrition, in terms of parenting, in terms of education. So I have an idea for a facility after school called TOOTS, TOOTS.
Your names. I can't.
And
So malicious.
yeah, so the children would have a place to go where they could be in a band, they could learn music. They would, if they were in third grade and they weren't doing so well in social studies, a fifth grader would be their tutor. Same with mathematics and science. There would be a lab for kids to figure out experiments. There would be a cafeteria so they could have nutritious snacks. And during the day, when the children were in school, there could be programs for the moms. I believe that and that's just part of TOOTS. I believe that every company should have a facility at location for daycare for children.
Mm,
So the parents can see their children during the day. That every company should have a really healthy cafeteria so people can bring their lunch if they want from home for religious reasons or whatever, or and that I mean, I just think we have enough gardens where people have bumper crops of herbs. I give my peppermint, I give my herbs away to my neighbors. I just think that there's just people really, I feel that it's the media that, makes things worse than they are. I think that you're kind to your neighbors, you help your neighbors out when need be. I just think
Yep.
people are generally kind and good, the majority. But if you take away somebody's home, their ability to have a livelihood and a living wage, and you disrupt their family life,
mm,
I think that all of those factors have an impact on our society and our
huge.
families.
Your Toots program ties in really well with. Do you remember Kim telling us, as she's told us a few times actually, that some of the older generation need to come in, if they've got the time and the energy, come in and teach the younger parents or the children life skills, parenting skills, things that they've learned, made their mistakes with, and but
Yeah,
the older generation's coming in to help them. That would
that's in
go
my
well with
project.
Toots.
Yeah, that's in
Yeah.
my project. I mean, Stefan was aware of all my projects. I used to have people from assemblies all over the world reach out to me. I've helped. I remember one fella in the Ivory Coast sending me videos and photographs of the local school, and my hand to God, the roof was rusted. The wood slats on the walls had holes in them. There was a dirt floor. And he said, do you think we could fix the school up? I said to him, Jonathan, I'd like you to think about building a whole campus where there's housing for the teachers, where there's buses, where there's athletic fields, and he went, and you guys wouldn't believe the architectural renderings that I have. And then I have a fella in India who was 5 members when they started. Now they're over 200, almost 300 members. Their first huge project is for children, because so many children are discarded, or parents die, or they're kicked out, or they're doing drugs. And it's to save the children and create an environment for them where they have clothing and they have respect, and the girls under their dresses will wear like shorts, and they get good food, and they have education and life skills and taught. I mean, I always say there's nothing impossible. The possibilities are endless. Just think about what's needed in your community.
Right.
I mean, Kim had said, don't worry about that little build, why do, you're worried about moms walking their children to school safely. Get buses, fix the roads,
Yep.
build the roads. And they said, how do we do that? I said, do you know that there are highway engineers? There are people who specialize in this.
Mhm.
I said, we can find, Kim can find, and you can find anything you need. There are specialists all over the world for this. If you don't know how to go and do the research, then just say, this is what I need. And they will find the people for you and they will make it happen.
Oh,
That-
I 100% believe that.
I mean, really,
Mhm.
nothing's complicated. I used to have clients come into my office all the time. Jeanne Anne, I have a problem. There are no problems. There are just situations in which we're going to seek a resolution. No problems.
Well,
If you-
you've seen those houses that are built from like rubber tires and plastic
Yeah.
bottles and glass
Yeah.
bottles. They're all built, and these houses are amazing when they finish them. You can make a house out of anything. Just got to
Sandbags.
think
You
outside the
can make a
box. Yes,
sandbag. Yeah.
just got to think outside the
mud.
box.
Yeah. A fellow in Uganda was just talking about mud huts that are secure and they have windows on either side. I guess it's all based on your attitude. Like we all said, like, I don't know, Liz, if it was you or Anna, Liz, you said, I have a direct connection to source. We're, two-way communication here. Every morning, every night, every day I start my day. Please give me the strength and honor to do and say the right thing today and not hurt anybody's feelings. Every morning, every night I say my little prayers and I'm asleep in a minute. Don't hold on to anything.
That's when you can float away to sleep and nothing heavy on your conscience. That's freedom right there.
It's funny you
And
mentioned
change
that.
the
Jeanne.
brainwashed negativity.
Right. I've been
Mhm.
working with my clients this week. The theme seems to be do that audit to make sure you're not angry or resentful toward anybody. Can you just clear the slates every day and get yourself in as positive a mood as you can? And just, are you angry with someone? Is there angst? And I go through all my people every day, and try to just make, nope, I'm not upset with anybody. And hopefully people have forgiven me, but that's on them. So I agree with you, Jeanne Anne.
Hey, Liz, do you talk to them about, and I don't like the terminology cutting the cords, but do you talk to them about cutting cords? Because to let that go, Tanis was telling me that because and like you, she has clients all day long, or me, I was with hundreds of people for a week. All those energies, I was telling some of the team, those energies can come into you. So it's a good thing at night to just kind of imagine sending those cords, sending that energy back to source with love. I'm sending it all back to
Absolutely. You can't do
that.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, dear. You can't do energy work or healing work without protecting yourself and clearing your energy. I know Tanis talks about it very intentionally. I don't do it so intentionally, but I just make sure I'm in a ball of golden light or a ball of white light and everything's out of my field. And I tell my clients the same, run energy, ground your energy. And I don't cut cords. I have some Vogel crystals I use shamanically for clients, but I like to pull them out of a client if I'm actually doing the work with a client. Pull them out so they don't grow back, kind of pull the root out, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just helpful. I mean, imagining, because we are sovereign, powerful beings, and nothing is impossible in our realm, then we can accomplish great things.
Damn straight.
Liberation through transmutation is what I always say.
Liberation through transmutation. Okay.
Mhm.
I love that, Jeanne Anne, because here you are, you're putting stuff on people's bums and you're also healing the world. Like it's from the bottom to the top.
With names like Bummalicious and Toots. I love it.
I just thank God for everything that he has given me through my family ancestry, through my ability to try and figure out what works, what will help heal. Because people always ask me, how do you come up with this stuff? And I don't know how to answer. I just do. I just do.
Well, you probably signed up before you even got to planet Earth, so
Well, yeah.
probably your contract.
Right. It's all inspired action on your part, like with the rest of us. We just are inspired to act in particular ways. And here we are.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I learned things today.
Yeah. Well, it's really been lovely to chat with all of you and to learn a little bit more about what you do. Anna, what do you do?
Well, I did nursing until my second pregnancy, which broke my pelvis, unfortunately, and sparked off a condition that they told me I was born with called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So I ended up in a wheelchair. So then I went to working with I did video editing and dog training. But I'm moving now into, like, I've just left that because, like you've just been discussing, you have to get rid of toxic people and get rid of all the negativity in your life. So I've started fresh, like maybe a month ago, and I'm just at the moment just trying to find out what it is I need to do now, because like my whole life changed a couple of months ago. So I'm a professional bum right now.
Not
Doing
really.
that.
I
No,
mean,
not really.
we all met in January, didn't
It's-
even know each other. And next thing you know, it's like we're creating all kinds of great things. And I love the conversations we're having because we're all learning so much. And you're an
Yes,
integral
obviously.
part of everything that's
So,
going
so
on.
Anna, Janine's got some bum cream for your situation.
I was waiting for someone to make that joke.
So I haven't said much, but I just thought I'd get in with that one quickly. And
Well,
if you don't mind, Janine, it's such a massive pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on, and
Thank you.
thanks to Liz and all for organising it. What an amazing journey, an amazing. Do you mind me asking, how old's your husband, by the way?
73. He's 9
Well-
days older than me, and I've known him since third grade. He took me to the senior prom. We grew up together. And
Wow.
I lived in one part of town and he lived in the other. I mean,
Wow.
he was in Muncie Park and I was in Strathmore Vanderbilt. We were in different, but we'd known each other since third grade. When his family moved to Manhasset when he was in first grade, and when I was in third grade, going into third grade.
Wow, what an incredible story. And I think just
he-
the
he-
very facts of your age themselves act as one of the best marketing campaigns you could probably come across.
He was the captain of our basketball team and the captain of our golf team. He had a pacemaker put in April of 2021. He was diagnosed with HUVS in February of 2022, February of 2023, and then in July of 2023, he had 4 stents put in.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all those jabby jabs, right, guys?
Mhm.
yep. And the food.
Well, no, his diet's, I mean, if
Oh,
I
and
if I get cold cuts, they come from the food co-op and they've been baked there.
so damn those jabs.
Yeah.
But I
Janine,
was
Yes,
go on, John.
John.
so no, go ahead, Anna.
No,
So,
I was just
Kenny
gonna
is
say
9 days older than me. He's always been an athlete. I mean, I was an athlete as a child. I mean, I was training for the Olympics and swimming. I've always been an athlete too.
so
I-
healthy.
One of the things I was very curious about what you said was the fact that your husband wears cotton and linen clothing. And I'm aware that particularly cotton, particularly linen, holds a very high and very powerful frequency. But I don't know that much about it. But I expect you do. Can you tell us about the frequency of fabric?
Yes, the frequency of fabric is different than the frequency of essential oils. The frequency of fabric, the highest frequency is linen.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, but if you're wearing linen, don't wear cotton at the same time.
Yes, that's what I heard.
Right.
And wool.
Oh, really?
And wool
Yes.
as well. And merino wool, I think, cancels each other out as well, does it
Right.
not?
Right.
Mhm.
So linen and cotton, not together.
Wool, linen and wool
Oh.
as well.
I mean, and I mean, our sheets are cotton. I do have linen pillowcases, from mom and my grandmother going back to the 1930s and 40s. And I do iron. I mean, everything gets ironed, but Even t-shirts, they have to be 100% cotton. We have t-shirts that have our you're gonna chuckle, and they're on the website, but it has our logo on the front above the breast. Because I don't like anything, you know, where there's a logo on the breast. Anyway, the back says La Domestique, and then it says, if you ride, this will make your bum glide.
Sorry,
I love it. That's funny.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I actually saw those t-shirts earlier.
Oh, thank you. By the way, you know, rose, the frequency of rose essential oil is, I got it right here, 320.
Hmm.
Ah,
And helichrysum 181. Frankincense is 147. Lavender is 118. Blue tansy and chamomile, I don't have in these products, but I will be putting in the skincare. Myrrh is fabulous. I have given that to clients individually to use. Yeah. Sandalwood has is 96, peppermint 78, and I don't use basil except in our food from my garden. But the frequency of fabric is really important. Now, I do know that there are individuals who are planning on a clothing line, and I spoke with an Italian friend of my sister's and mine going back many years, who's he does bespoke clothing, and the fabrics, the silks and the wools and the cottons from Italy are amazing, and his designs are amazing. And I spoke with him about a month and a half ago, about taking hemp that has been so pounded and so washed that it's softer than Pima cotton, and
Mhm.
designing shirts and trousers out
Yep.
of really high, you know,
Yep.
high end, and
Yep.
to get people away from, I don't care, the wick away, all of that stuff, guys, has petroleum in it. It has
Mhm.
chemicals in it.
It
what did you
does.
call it? The wicker.
Well, there's clothing that has quote unquote wick away,
Oh,
where
wick away.
they say you can wear the same shirt for a week and you won't have a smell to it. I wouldn't. And do you know that they have cycling jerseys that are made out of wool? Very thin, soft wool, because when
Mm.
cyclists did the Tour de France, if you go back and look at those old videos and pictures,
Those are
those men are wearing wool.
Mhm.
Wow.
All this new stuff,
Yeah, it's all synthetic and it's not
all
good for the
synthetic,
skin.
it's all bad for you.
Mhm.
It's bad
Yeah,
for the
so
athletes.
I recently upgraded my wardrobe because I hadn't done for about 10 years. I'm not the biggest fashion freak, but my son is quite keen that I get more into the whole fashion thing. And I bought these wonderful looking tops, but I was slightly suspicious about the synthetic nature of the material. So I started looking into it. And as a result, I've had to bin my entire new wardrobe.
Well,
Were they the shiny type material you get from places like
Yeah,
Shein? Oh,
yeah,
it's terrible material. Yeah.
And you have to
yeah,
be careful because I've shopped for linen shirts here recently, and it will say, 100% linen, and then you go and you look a little
yeah.
bit deeper and where it's coming from, and it's not linen at all. So
That's what I was finding, Kelly. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
I bought Kenny one of his Father's Day's gifts was a beautiful blue, not a royal blue, not a navy blue, but a beautiful blue golf shirt from Abercrombie and Fitch with a little moose on it. And we're up in the Adirondacks, so you know we go up there.
Mhm.
And I thought it was 100% cotton. He wore it once and he felt like he was being attacked. I just gave it to my neighbor Lewis.
Oh, your poor
Mhm.
neighbor.
Yeah, they get, well, Kenny's clothes that he can't wear.
Yeah, A&F, you'd think it was high quality, but yeah, you'd scratch below the surface, and they're just like everybody else. They're
Well,
like
You
Yeah.
doesn't occur to the average person, even the awake ones, or quote unquote
Right.
awake,
I'll tell you
to,
what I
to
do
watch
have.
out for what you're wearing.
Yeah, I will tell you. Oh, I just got an order. I will tell
That was
you.
for me, by the way.
I was about to do the same when we came off here. I need like
No,
cream for my hands.
Anna, you have to you have to send me a note. My
Okay,
Yeah.
for
I will
UK.
send Kelly my email. It's
Okay.
Jeanne Anne, Jeanne, and then Anne, Anne at ladomestiquellc.com. But I digress.
And that is that's actually her website address too, everybody out there. That's LADOMESTIQUE LLC.com. And we will definitely post that when we post this, we'll add the link for sure.
I have found for Ken, and it's not inexpensive, so yeah, I wait for sales. Brooks Brothers for cotton and linen shirts, and they're made in America. And Pima Cotton, made in America. I have bought him 100% cotton, as you said, or linen from another company, and it's made in China. And I have to return it because it's not the fabric, it's the dyes that they use.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dyes.
Is leather okay?
I beg your pardon?
Is leather okay?
Meta?
Leather.
Leather.
Oh, leather's natural.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not wearing that against your skin unless you are not wearing undergarments.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
no
leather-
judgment there.
There is a whole.
And that's
No,
what
I
the
mean,
bummalicious is for.
I have a leather skirt, leather slacks. I don't have a leather jacket, but no, leather's fun. It's natural. I don't know what the frequency of leather is because it's an animal.
I didn't even think of the frequency of cotton and linen. I'm learning so much today.
You know what, Anna, when you have a moment, just make the time, set the time aside to just do the research on the frequency of fabrics.
Oh,
Mhm.
but I've already in my brain. That's one of my list of things to do later.
And
And
a lot
also
of
read up on essential oils.
and sometimes you can get a very good deal at a resale shop or a consignment shop
Mhm.
on linen and cotton
And wool. Mm-hmm.
and wool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to look for some hemp clothes as well because I used to wear them, but
Yeah,
can't get them here so much anymore.
Yeah, well,
Have you
they're
seen them
Yeah.
anywhere, John?
well,
well,
they're starting
one of the things I was going to say to Kelly was I want to grow hemp. I want to put
Mm-hmm.
our place in. I think, and I'd be interested to know what the frequency of a hemp garment was, and I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a very
it's
high
very
end.
high. It's very
Yeah,
high.
it's
Yeah,
it's high,
And
and I've had the soft hemp clothing before when I
it's
lived
high.
on Maui. It's very, very cozy, and it's good to look for these boutique shops and these places that make small batches. They're really
Right.
they've got a lot of integrity in what they're doing. But yeah, hemp is great. It's like I can't wait until we have more hemp processing plants, because there's going to be a lot of people growing hemp, but we need more processing plants. And I think it's a great idea to convert a lot of these old logging places that have been out of business for quite some time, and get them up and running again and detoxed. Because
Well, look at
everything.
the bottles they're doing now that Jan said.
yeah, and
Mhm.
in answer to your question, Anna, I struggled tremendously. I couldn't find anything that, like Kelly said, wasn't actually a mixture of different materials rather than 100% cotton or 100% linen.
Mhm.
Yep, don't see it much here.
John, I'm gonna make a suggestion that you take under consideration. And this follows up to what Kelly said. It's not so much about growing hemp. What
Yeah.
is it that you would like to manufacture? Because you need to know what you're going to manufacture, and then you need to have the machinery
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the die, the
Yeah.
die, whatever they call die cuts, or the machinery that you're
Mhm.
going to manufacture. Because if you don't have your manufacturing in place, what are you going to do with the hemp? You know,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah,
do?
absolutely.
And what is
I
it
think,
that and you may want to think about what you get out of that particular plant. There is a number of products and ingredients within the raw hemp when
yeah,
you process it that you can use.
yeah, no, I think, and as you alluded to, Kelly's already 6 steps ahead of me thinking, well, we're not going to grow it. We'll let someone else grow it. What are we going to do with it? Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
There's a group I know that has meetings on Tuesday nights
Mhm.
around the world. And
Are they on?
I will send Kelly the link.
Okay. Are they on
And-
Telegram now?
Yeah, so he can
Okay.
send it to you,
I think I
John.
know.
So,
I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because you would like to be involved with a group of individuals worldwide who are like-minded,
Mhm.
good of heart, understand that they are going to have companies that are owned by the employees and share the profits,
Mhm.
uh, but just good people, and they're all over the world.
Wow, exciting
Mm,
times.
Mhm. Yeah, we're
really
all
is.
Well, folks, we're
Well,
about at the hour, depending on what we
getting
all want to
wild
do
then.
together.
Yeah,
Well,
this is a great conversation. Thank you so much, Jeanne Anne, for coming on and
thank you
speak
for
with
having
us.
I
me.
have learned so much.
Yes, we always do. When
I always say I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yep.
Yeah,
When Anna, when we were children growing up, every night you knew at dinner, Dad was going to ask you, what did you learn today that you didn't know yesterday?
wow,
That's a great
good,
question. I'm going to start
yes.
asking my kids.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
And if they say nothing, just say, that's odd. You didn't see anything. The leaves didn't move. You didn't see any cars. You didn't see anybody on the road. Marshall McLuhan once said, we have millions of impressions each day that come to us. What we retain is what we choose to retain.
yeah,
And
Mhm.
what we let go is what we choose to let go. I actually wrote that in a speech to a group of Army generals back in the 1970s.
You need to go into teaching.
Oh,
I'd listen
oh, great,
for
right?
hours.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, I think
Yeah.
that we're all teachers in a way,
Mhm.
you know,
Mm.
life. Listen, I'm 73 and I really can't, and I'm healthy and I can't imagine not living for a very long time and just,
wow.
Ditto.
sharing.
Me too. Yep, I've got that's so might as well make it, the best.
Well,
And
I worked with the elderly. 73 is not old.
No,
Mhm.
no,
Okay.
no.
No.
Although I've met men and women younger than me that look like they're in their 80s.
That's what
Mhm.
I was talking about earlier, Jeanne Anne, was that I have some friends and my friend's in the hospital for sepsis and she's 56. I mean, younger than me.
Oh,
Sad
Mhm.
that I know in her case, like I said earlier, she has never really taken care of herself. It's not just will of the gods. It's not just genetics. It's how we care for ourselves in this life, as we've been talking about this hour.
Yeah.
So, no, the tides are going to turn really quickly, and that's what's going to be, popular is taking care of oneself
Yeah.
and everything
yeah.
else.
And I
Sorry.
await the day that America doesn't have neon orange cheese. I'm still not over it. From Florida in January, I could not
I'm
believe the
Hush,
color of the
America.
cheese.
Stop it. I'm going to jump on England right now.
looking for that day
Easy.
too.
Easy, America.
I buy my cheddar that comes from England. I don't know about you.
Oh, nice.
It's
It's
Well,
just,
it's
I
probably
couldn't believe how orange it was.
our food co-op has a beautiful section of all these cheeses from around the world. And I mean,
nice.
you get even local cheeses. You can
Mhm.
buy
I
local
love cheese. So bad for you though.
Listen, guys, it's just really been a pleasure, and I
It
cannot
has
thank
been
you enough
wonderful.
for
Thank you.
inviting me
It's been great, everybody.
to
I'm
join you.
going to turn off the recording and we could chat if we want to.
And
Thanks,
we'll get this
everybody.
posted.